Solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello viewers, welcome to Dot Solution Daily Current Affairs. I'm Lokesh Penugunda. This session is mainly designed for aspirants preparing for banking, groups and such other competitive examinations. We cover news articles from both the Hindu and the Indian Express. Make a use of this. First, we have an article where it is stated that the United States government has formally recognized the Armenian genocide of 1915, defying the Turkey's concerns. What is the Armenian genocide? A genocide is a deliberative killing of people belonging to a particular religion, nation, sect. So when we talk about the Armenian genocide, it means the Armenian religious people are killed deliberately during a particular point of time. So what is the religion of Armenians? They mainly follow the religion of Christianity, and between the years 1915 to year 1917, 15 lakh Armenians were killed mainly because of their religious affiliation. So where did they live and who killed them? In the image you can see that there is a orange marked territory, and this territory comes under the Ottoman Empire or the Ottoman Sultanate. And we had this Ottoman Empire till the disintegration or bifurcation of the Ottoman Empire after the World War I. So till World War I, all these parts we can see in the image belonged to the Ottoman Empire, and there is Armenians living in the bordering or in the ending territories of the Ottoman Kingdom. The Ottoman Empire mainly has people following religion Islam, whereas the Armenians follow the religion Christianity. For this reason, as they are a minority, they are generally hated and they are persecuted in the Ottoman Empire. And when the Ottoman Empire fought in the World War I with the Central Powers, this persecution was increased manifold. So what is the World War I and what are the Central Powers? In the image you can see the countries Germany, Austro-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire marked in violet color, and in the image you can see the United Kingdom, France, Russia marked in green colors. So these three are the Central Powers or a bloc who are fighting this other bloc. So on the one hand we have Central Powers where you have three countries, Germany, Austria-Hungary and Ottoman Empire. On the other hand we have one more bloc whom this bloc as a whole are fighting, and this other bloc is called as the Allied Powers or the Allied bloc. And we have countries such as United Kingdom, Russia, France, Japan and later on even the United States of America supported this bloc. So this is World War I and these are the two different blocs fighting each other. In this image you can see that this all is the part of Russia. So all these parts coming under the Russian Empire, and we have the Ottoman Empire which is next to it and it is fighting the Russian Empire. So you have Armenians living in the bordering areas of Ottoman Empire and Russia. So you have Armenians who follow the religion Christian on the both sides of the border, and the Armenians follow the religion of Christianity, and even the Russian Empire follows the religion of Christianity. So the Ottoman Empire, who are mostly Muslims, have feared that the Armenians who are living in the bordering areas might help the Russian Empire because they both belong to the same religion. So what they did was they killed nearly 15 lakh Armenians who are living in the bordering areas. This mass killing is described as the Armenian genocide of 1915. After nearly 105 or the 105 years of this happening, United States of America formally recognized this occurrence. So this Armenian genocide ended in 1917 and it's been 105 years since then, and only now the United States has formally recognized this genocide. Until now 38 countries have only officially recognized it. Did India recognize this genocide? The answer is no. We did not officially recognize this genocide. So what will be the consequence of recognizing the Armenian genocide by the United States? It will bring more amount of guilt to the Turkey. Why is the Turkey involved? In the image you can see that the Ottoman Empire is mainly consisting of countries such as Turkey and the other countries. And once the Ottoman Empire lost the World War I, the Ottoman Empire was segregated or divided into various countries, and the successor of this Ottoman Empire was Turkey, and the parts which were separated from the Ottoman Empire became the countries of Syria, became the country of Palestine and other countries. So what we had is, we had a large empire called the Ottoman Empire, and as this empire lost in the World War I by the Allied powers, what the Allied powers did was they removed some parts of this country and they took these parts for their own influence. So they removed or separated some territories from the Ottoman Empire, and the territories which are left for the Ottoman Empire became the country Turkey, and the territories which are separated from the Ottoman Empire became countries such as Syria, Lebanon, Palestine. For this reason, as the Turkey is a successor to the Ottoman Empire, Turkey defies such happening. This is relating to the Armenian genocide of 1915. Next we have an article where it is stated that the China country is planning to bring in an asteroid defense technology. So what is this asteroid defense we are talking about? First, we should know about asteroids. Asteroids are rocky bodies that orbit the sun, and sometimes these bodies visit Earth, and when they come to Earth, most of the asteroids generally burn up in the outer space, and only few asteroids come and fall down on the Earth's surface, and when they fall on the Earth's surface, they create something called as craters. So when huge rocky bodies hit the Earth's atmosphere, it will create huge destruction in the area where it has fallen down. So what the governments worldwide are planning to do is, they plan to somehow blow up these asteroids or at least deflect them, so that these asteroids would not visit Earth, or even if they visit Earth, they would be deflected to the ocean parts, so that they won't be impacting the cities and the people in them. So in this article, the country China is planning to bring in a defense technology for tackling the asteroid, and also the same article is talking about the European Space Agency's agreement with the NASA or the American Space Agency to make or to prepare a spacecraft that might be able to deflect the asteroids that are coming towards the Earth. So which two countries or which two space agencies are planning to make or prepare a spacecraft that might be able to deflect the asteroids that are coming to the Earth? That will be the European Space Agency and the Space Agency of United States of America. Next we have an article talking about the National Panchayati Awards. In this article it is stated that the state of Andhra Pradesh won 17 National Panchayati Awards for the year 2021. So what is this National Panchayati Awards? Starting from the year 2011, the Ministry of Panchayats has brought in a scheme so as to recognize and incentivize the best performing panchayats in the country. So it is a scheme of Ministry of Panchayati Raj. And this started in the year 2011, and every year best performing panchayats in the country will be awarded through this, and these awards are presented on 24th April every year. So why are these awards presented on 24th April every year? Because this is the National Panchayati Day. So we observe the National Panchayati Day every year on 24th April. This is relating to this article. Next we have an article which is stating that a Malaysian artist was arrested for insulting the Queen. So in countries such as Malaysia, Thailand, Bhutan, we have something called as constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarchy. What do you mean by constitutional monarchy? In India, we have the president and the prime minister. So in India, the president is the constitutional head of the country, and he works mainly on the aid and advice on the prime minister of the country. So in India, the president is appointed by an election, and he works for a particular tenure of 5 years. In the countries such as Thailand, Bhutan and Malaysia, we have the constitutional monarchy. It means that there will be king and queen, and their positions will be hereditary. That is, no one will be electing them, and they will continue to be the head of the country till they retire and till their successor is appointed through hereditary basis. So this is the term called constitutional monarchy. It means that they are head of the country, but they work mainly on the aid and advice of the government. So similar to the president, they will have a king or a queen, and the king or the queen of this country will have to work on the aid and advice given by the prime minister, who is generally appointed or elected through the people directly. This is relating to the constitutional monarchy followed by these countries. And what do you mean by absolute monarchy? When you use the word absolute monarchy, it means that they have the real powers as well. That is, in the countries such as Saudi Arabia, in the countries such as Brunei Darussalam, we have constitutional monarchs. That is, they are the real kings or the real heads of the government. No one elects them. They work as the heads through hereditary basis. This is relating to the terms constitutional monarchy and absolute monarchy. Next we have an article where it is stated a military copter has crash landed and it led to the death of 4, and it happened in the country of Zimbabwe. As this article is dealing with Zimbabwe country, we should know some basic facts about this country. Zimbabwe is an African country and it is a landlocked country. You can see in this image where Zimbabwe is. Its capital is Harare. Next we have an article dealing with a scheme called Vivad Se Vishwas. This is a scheme relating to the dispute resolution when comes to the direct taxes. So what is this direct taxes? You pay income tax, and the companies pay corporate taxes. So these are some of the direct taxes which you directly pay to the government, and what can happen sometimes is the government might ask you to pay more rather than the amount you are willing to pay, so it might lead to a tax dispute. So let's say there is a company X, and this company X is paying 5 crore a year, and the government audit found out that this company should pay 7 crore a year. So what would happen is it would lead to a tax dispute. And the government and the company will fight in the court of law regarding this tax dispute. And what happens is, as the time passes, not only the government asks the company to pay the extra 2 crores, but also it will ask the company to pay penalties because the company did not pay the taxes in a particular amount of time. So as the time goes, you should be paying extra penalties on these taxes as well. And according to the Ministry of Finance, there are nearly 4.5 lakh cases relating to the direct taxes disputes in various courts of the country, and the amount which is worth is 9 lakh crores. So 9 lakh crores amount is being disputed in various courts of the country. So to remove the amount of cases in the country and to get more amount of revenue through these cases, the government started a scheme called Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. And what is the mechanism of this scheme? This scheme states that if you pay the disputed amount alone, we would completely give you a rebate and completely leave out the taxes and other penalties we have levied on you. That is, let's say the government is asking in the year 2008 from a country to pay 2 more crores, and the company did not pay it and the company went to the court, and now it is 2020 year. 2 years have passed, so the government will ask this company not only for the payment of 2 crores but also a 10% interest on this disputed amount as well. And the government might also start levying cases, that is, it may start criminal cases or civil cases against the directors and the company itself. So as this is a huge process and it might lead to numerous years of court battles, what the government did was, it stated that if you pay the disputed amount of 2 crores, we will leave out the remaining penalties and the cases we have levied on you. So if you pay 2 crores, we will not ask you for the extra 10% as a penalty, and also we will withdraw all the cases we have levied on you. So this scheme will help not only the government but also the people who are involved in this tax disputes, because they would not be having to pay the extra penalties which were levied by the government. And now, due to COVID impact, there has been a huge issue with the companies. So the companies asked the government to extend the scheme, and the government agreed to extend the scheme till the month of June, till 30th June. So earlier this scheme was about to end on 30th April, and now it is extended for 2 more months. So what you need to understand is, Vivad Se Vishwas is a scheme relating to the direct tax dispute resolution. Next we have an article dealing with Deepika Kumari. Miss Deepika Kumari is related to the sport of archery. This is relating to this article. Next we have a news article which is stating that the forex reserves in the country has gone up and it has reached nearly $582 billion. So what all constitutes under the forex reserves? Forex reserves of a country include the foreign currency assets, that may be the dollars, that may be the pounds, that may be the euros a country earned through exporting, and other savings, and it include gold, it include the SDRs or the special drawing rights, and it also include the reserve tranche position. So who will handle all this foreign exchange reserves? This will be done by the Reserve Bank of India, which is a central bank of India. And now we'll see what do you mean by special drawing rights. Special drawing rights is an international reserve. It is a international currency reserve started by the International Monetary Fund in the year 1969. So the IMF brought something called as the special drawing rights, where various countries can have the special drawing rights and they can utilize this amount when they are in crisis. So these four, that is foreign currency, gold, special drawing rights and the reserve tranche position in the IMF, totally combinedly called as the forex reserves. And when you say that the value of forex reserves increase, then it means that any of these four parts are increased due to the government buying more gold, the government might be buying foreign currency, the government might increase the SDR or the RTP with the IMF. So in all these cases, the forex reserve of a country will increase. With this, we have covered all the relevant articles from both the newspapers, and we have come to the end of this session. Inform about ADOT's initiative to your other aspirant friends. Thank you.
Add-on solutions. Add-on desires.